Welcome to South of King's Landing, Explosion Network's after show for a night of the Seven Kingdoms, where this season we'll be breaking down each and every episode of the show. My name's Dylan Blight, and joining me, hand of the king, Ashley Hockley.
Hey, Dylan. Excited to be back here in Westeros.
Indeed. It is a very different sort of show we're talking about this time, of course, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, based on a bunch of novellas, which continuing the train of us discussing everything Game of Thrones and Game of Thrones adjacent, like House of Dragon. We don't know anything and have not read the book, so we're going in and just taking it as we go. So, I mean, we watched the trailer for this and was like, oh, I think this is a bit more of a comedy or a little bit more lighter tone. And, you know, about 5 minutes into the episode, that was very quickly evident. But I mean, my two questions for you: overall thoughts on the first episode, and mainly touch on the tonal stylistic changes compared to the last two series, I guess, in the same world, and also the runtime, because this was half an hour, and I did not know that the episode ended, and I sat there going, "What? I still got food. I hadn't even finished."
To be fair, I think it was like 40 minutes. But yeah, obviously a bit shorter. I saw somebody post runtimes for the season, so I was not as surprised or shocked. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the episode. It is a little bit of a slow burn, slower pace, but yes, it does clearly give the impression that it is going for a lighter tone than the Game of Thrones and House of Dragon fare that we've gotten so far. Just a small story about a guy just trying to be a knight, Finally, a story about the little people in Westeros,
Even though he's tall.
Even though, yes, a tall, small person within the world of Westeros.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the first episode. I thought this was like it's sort of like a more relatable character, I guess. It's just like a dude who, an anxious dude who's got a dream and he's trying to make it, sort of, I guess is what it boils down to. We don't find out too much about Egg in this episode, so there'll be more there. But yeah, so I mean, within the quickest explanation of the episode, and again, I think the shorter runtime means it's so easy to like hit the main the story beats and parts that sort of happen. But we're introduced to Sir Duncan the Toll, played by, I have people's names here somewhere, Peter Claffey, who at the start of the episode is burying he was former master, yeah, and now who we find out later did knight him at some point. Now he's taking, debatable.
I don't know if he did.
Well, he said he did, so. He looks like a trustworthy guy. So, yeah, and I mean that's how the show starts. And I think I watched the inside of the 5-6 minute thing that was on HBO Max after watching the episode, and I can't remember if it was the show creator or someone was talking about it and said the first line you hear in the show is him saying, the first line you hear is Sir Dunk say, "I don't know the right words for this," and they were like, that pretty much sums up this character fully. Like, just that's him in a nutshell, which I think is fair to gather from the first episode. The other main character, of course, we meet is Egg, who's played by Dexter Ansell, who we don't really know much about, but I'm keen to learn more about. It's some kid who definitely has history from somewhere or something, or hiding some secrets or something going on there, and they want to be the squire to a good knight, of which they proceed to make fun of Dunk, and then by the end of the episode have decided, I guess, no, this is my guy for whatever reason. I will become the squire. And then I think the only other main person, or at least the standout one from this episode was what's this? So Lionel
Baratheon,
there we go. Played by Daniel Ings, who at first comes across like you think he's going to start some shit, but then he's a drunkard who loves to have a dance, and I think almost was taken back by the normality of Dunk amongst a bunch of people who are probably used to either being feared by him or sucking up to him. At least that's how I took it.
Yes.
So, go for the three main characters. What do you make of Duncan?
It's just a dude kind of in over his head. I think it's very interesting because obviously talk of knights and competing in tournaments. I don't know, but for me, my mind immediately went to A Knight's Tale, starring Heath Ledger. And this is A Knight's Tale, but if Heath Ledger had no riz, had no personality, and couldn't talk himself out of a situation, or friends. I mean, that's the major difference, you know. So you know, this dude's just trying to get by, and decides to try and be a knight instead of like going down the path of, I think what's he mentioned, being part of the City Watch, or you know,
knights
selling all the horses and going to thievery and stuff.
He lists off a bunch of things.
I love that the first thing when he's pretending to be a knight, part of the city guard, he goes, "Stop raping." Which is like that's like the standard crime in the city, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
And 100 years from now, it's still a crime that's happening prevalently. We know so.
Yeah.
Not something he achieved.
Pretty standard stereotype.
Yeah. How about Egg? What do you feel the same mystery there, or? Yeah,
there is a bit of mystery. I've read, like, I went to Wikipedia stuff and it's got a little bit extra information. I just wanted to get a recap of the thing, and they like put extra details, obviously, that they've pulled from the book that I'm not going to mention. But yeah, I mean, you know, definitely a kid who is hiding something and also doing a lot of double talk and that kind of stuff, you know. And a bit of a weirdo. A weird egg, some would say.
It's an interesting name, Egg.
Yep.
Dunk is also an interesting name, though, so I guess it's...
Yeah. Well, that's the name of the books, apparently. The story of Dunk and Egg.
Dunk and Egg. Just... I swear if you pitch that, like, an editor would be like, that's a terrible name for a book. You want to, like, that does not roll off the tongue at all.
Yeah, that's why I had to publish 5 bestsellers with them. Just put it out there, you know.
Yeah, I think there's. I think the thing I liked about the Egg and Dunk interactions that we had, which you have the one at the end and you have like the one in the middle of the episode. But the funny, like at the start when they first cross paths at the tavern bar, whatever, it's just a funny little thing. It comes across like a little serious shithead on the outside. Like was like, can you look after my whatever he says to do to his horses? Look after him, fucking give him a horse
moats and stuff and
whatever.
Massage.
Yeah. Look after the horses. It was like Egg's like, oh, I could if I wanted to. You know? And then he comes across this serious little shithead kid, and then
I didn't think shithead. I think it was just like nonchalant, uninterested.
And then 10 minutes later, he's dressed up playing knights himself. Pretending to be a knight himself. Yeah. And then after all that, still makes fun of Dunk by, I can't remember the exact wording or anything, but like makes fun of his. I don't know if
he doesn't look like a knight. He's got a rope for a belt.
Yeah, rope for a belt. Yeah. Which is fair.
Do you know all the knights? I know the good ones.
Yeah. Another good line. And then, obviously at the end of the episode where it keeps basically, and again, I can't remember the exact word, but basically the tent that they should be sleeping in.
Pavilion?
Pavilion.
Something like that.
But then sort of turns it around with the enjoying the stars line. And so you get a little bond.
Says, shooting stars bring luck to all who see them.
Yeah. Which seems to hit Dunk.
Because everybody's in their tents, they're the only ones who see.
They're the only ones that see the shooting star. So, which is
they're going to need all I can get.
Yeah, or where they're at for this stage.
Yeah.
What'd you make of our Baratheon for this series?
Very interesting. Obviously, way different than any of the Baratheons we've seen so far.
Yeah,
you know, it really wants to be the life of the party.
Yeah.
And also kind of desperate, needs to be the center of attention a little bit, you know. There's this big proclamation about, you know, who created the joust. You know, was it our ancestors 4,000 years ago in that field over there, or was it something else greater? Because it's so good, you know. And I can appreciate him starting a sentence and then forgetting what the thought he was at the end of it. You know.
Alcohol will do that.
Alcohol will do that. But yeah, he likes to dance, likes to stomp feet. You know, that's the thing. Yeah, he's all about the vibes.
Yeah, definitely very different to the very serious men of Baratheons that we had met previously. Well,
reasonably serious.
Reasonably serious, yeah. Comes across, like a bit of a party animal, I guess. With the actor playing him, it was reminding me a bit of, especially during the dance stuff, it was reminding me of Oscar Isaac, to be honest. That was the vibes I was getting, so.
I could see it.
The whole like the foot stomping thing too. I don't know if it's like a little test and whatever, but then I appreciate like after
you just want to see how good his footwork is, I think.
Yeah. And then
for a big guy.
For a big guy, and he's doing 360 twirls and good for him. And then I appreciate how that shot, it's like the dance just cuts straight to them. Now Dunk's behind the table with the crown on and
the best part's super drunk and tired after dancing their little hearts out.
Yeah. So I feel like you could I think the interesting thing about the show so far is like that obviously the shit shot 5 minutes into it straight away tells you like a tonal difference.
No. It's not just the shit shot. It's the build up of the music.
Yeah.
Which is the theme. And then cut to him shitting behind a tree.
Yeah. But I feel like there's multiple things. Even the cutaway to them behind the table just feels like something like that doesn't feel Game of Thrones either. Yeah. Very buddy comedy sort of.
Yeah, they've got definitely a lighthearted comedic tone. Even with all the flashback stuff that we, very, I don't know, Scrubs, just or 30 Rock, quickly jump back to a flashback and then come forward.
Yeah. The thing about that opening though, and why I think it was so funny, is it kind of like it really does just set up the character so well with the like I'm going to set off basically like building himself, saying he's going to be a knight, and like really setting it in the music kicking in. Dun, 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 dun. It's like in those shows, you have the dudes who don't get scared and march off to do dreams. Instead, now you've got a dude talking himself into being a knight, and then gets so scared and anxious about it that he gives himself the anxious poo, something crazy, and just has to empty his bowels, which is very relatable, like.
Is it?
Yeah. I've had more share of anxious poos in my life than, That's what happens. You get super anxious and your stomach starts to hurt, and I get it.
Okay. I'll believe you.
Mm-hmm. The most I've ever related to a character in Game of Thrones, because most of the time it's very hard. They're either fucking their sister or their brother, or or they have money problems, and they're just too rich, and like all these things I can't relate to. Dragons or whatever else. Getting anxious though, you got me.
To come back to life.
Yeah, like only that I can't. Just can't relate to it. I can relate to being a bastard, not on the proper sense, but just a bastard. I mean, like, so it's usually hard to relate to these shows.
Yeah.
Anything else the sort of our three key scenes is like you got obviously the opening with the inn and stuff, and then you've got the sort of once he goes there and attempts to thing. As we move into the second episode, obviously he's going to go. He's still trying to get are they calling it sponsorship? Or is that am I just like picking the word? But I guess that's what it is. He's obviously trying to get sponsorship. I'm assuming he's going to get it from Lionel Baratheon.
Yeah.
Is my assumption based on how much time we spent with that character. Because that other dude he tried to chase, which I couldn't be able to find the name of, who his previous
Sir
master
Manfred.
Took an arrow for him. Then that dude's a little shit is like, we had 800 swords up there and he just got a flesh wound, so
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I will say I did enjoy him going to try and see him the first time. And the scene that he has with the two ladies of the night. Who are kind of poking fun at him and then
he calls him out for being rude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of come to like him a little bit with his honest, straightforward nature and not not talking about himself up like a lot of knights who come through, which I think is another thing that probably sets him apart from all the other humble. What was the line? It was like something like, take care of your body, all whores got to have only one life, because obviously he's, fighting for money, which is a type of horse.
Is he fighting for money? I feel like he's not fighting for money. He's fighting for the honor, I guess, is what
I don't know exactly what he is fighting for yet, I think he's just talked himself into this idea.
Yeah.
As a way to continue providing for himself initially. Yeah. But beyond that.
I just feel like there'll be other ways to get money. I feel like it's less about the money and more about...
Listen, you only need one horse. Why are you taking round three?
That's what I mean. Like, sell others. That's what I feel like. If he wins...
I don't know. I don't know anything about riding horses or keeping horses in the medieval times. Maybe having multiple horses is very helpful, But it seems like you could spare at least one.
Well, yeah, at least one now. He's got two in his party, so get rid of one. I'm sure you could sell that for more than 100 gold, surely.
Well, he said if he sold all three, he'd be able to eat as well as he wanted for 2 years.
Yeah,
and this is a guy who, from the sound of it, is always hungry.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a big guy, right?
The way his face lit up when the birds came out.
I like the part where the dude invites him. He's like, do you want to get you hungry? Oh, I'm always hungry.
Yeah. I also like that the dude just disappeared,
Yeah, I don't know
where. Invite somebody to a party.
Yeah, gone.
That's not yours, clearly.
Yeah.
It disappears, and leaves him in that situation where he's going to get questioned by Sir Baratheon.
Why are you here?
Supper. Yeah.
There are some good meme quality moments even in this first episode, I feel like.
Oh, we haven't even touched on the Game Master, who may be one of the most disgusting people in Game of Thrones.
I mean, that's a big call.
The amount of snot in his mouth, Phlegm.
I mean, the funniest thing about that scene to me was just the fact he hit his head on the way out, but...
And then he asked why he's always slouching. He'd be slouching if he hit
I think it also cut when he's like hits his door in the head and he goes, I think it sounds like he goes to say fuck or something and they cut.
I had the subtitles on it. It said 7 fart.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Good bit. All right. That'll do it for this first episode discussing A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. There are 6 episodes, I believe. Yep. So 5 more weeks of us discussing this series. And then it won't be the only Game of Thrones adjacent series we're watching because of Chaos. We also get House of the Dragon Season 3. By the time this finishes, probably 2.5 months-ish, I think. Probably 2.5, 3 months.
Yeah, probably mid-year.
Estimating. Mid-year, I think, is roughly when it's coming out. So, good year for some South of King's Landing podcast content indeed. Cool. All right, Council for this week is over. Join us next week as we discuss another episode. Until then, you can find all our other shows on explosionhour.com/podcast and all our articles on explosionhour.com. Goodbye.